and welcome. This is Wolrig, and we're on episode 26 of Infinity Evolve Normal Mode. I'm just crafting myself another, or I should say a third, Master Blood Orb, because I need a couple of these things for reasons we will see shortly. There we go. Don't forget to bind it. So this episode, first off, I want to put one back in there. So I want one Master Blood Orb to just kind of hang out in the altar at all times. The other one, or I should say the other two, I want to use for various things. One of them I want to use for crafting, and the other one I want to use to make myself some bound armor. So the setup I had up there with Steve's Factory Manager worked beautifully, and as you can see I now have 31 filled sockets, each one of those holding 30,000 LP in it. So you can see that took a little while, and fortunately since it was automated it actually was pretty easy. The first thing we're going to need to build to craft our armor is we need a soul armor forge. And fortunately it's not too terribly difficult. It's just like so. Then we need to do a few other things. So one of the things we can do with our bound armor is that we can kind of enchant it. So we can't use normal enchantments on the armor like we could any other armor. That's been specifically blocked. But what we can do is we can bind sigils to our armor, and those sigils will do different things depending on what sigils we have. I am going to need some feathers for that. That's okay. I'm going to need some regular slate for that. Fortunately, I have those things. So I started I started putting together some automation. So if I pull this orb out, I wanted a way to start to automate the production of slate. Oops. There we go. So what I've done is just built a really simple sequence of events here that basically puts in stone, waits for it to turn to slate, and then pulls it back out. And we've got conditionals in here that make sure we only get one piece of stone at a time. Even though with slate I could actually probably throw in a whole stack and it would imbue just fine. But yeah, so that, that's something that's kind of a work in progress. I'm going to need to do more work. The idea is that eventually I want to be able to do all 3 or 4 or all tiers of the slate eventually, but for now I don't have the time to do that. So I'm going to start with a division sigil. The next thing I think I want is, where is it? The sigil of the Phantom Bridge. There it is. Phantom Bridge. Excellent. This one, actually we can kind of play around with right now. So what the Phantom Bridge allows us to do, let's see if I turn it on. And now, there we go. If I crouch and jump, what it does is creates a little Phantom Bridge for me. And if I hold down, how do I get down? Oh yeah, and the Phantom Bridge moves with me. So it's kind of like flying. It's not bad. And you see the bridge slowly decays over time. It creates a 5x5 area around me, and it does use power from my soul network. So what we should see is that we are losing energy kind of slowly, not real fast, not real slow. But this is pretty handy since we don't have any form of flight just yet. And unfortunately, I thought it was supposed to... Oh yeah. So if I hold down, if I crouch while I mine this out, I can kind of safely leave. I'll go ahead and turn that off. So that's kind of how we get around right now. It's a bit clunky, but it's how we do it. And it's not too terribly hungry on our LP, which we need to go put our blood orb back in before we forget. So that guy finished. I got it set just to craft 10 of these, and then it stops. So it did exactly that. Right now, I need to go get some more feathers because I need to make one more sigil. So let me go do that using my chickens are over there, and crouch and jump, crouch and jump. There we go. Let's head out towards our chickens, and I will be back when I've got some chickens. Okay, a little while later, and we have our air sigil. So the air sigil is nice because it kind of allows me to jump, and if I time it right, I can kind of fly, and I get the added bonus that if I go up in the air, oh, right. No, I don't get that added bonus yet. I was going to say I have fall protection. I probably should have tried that from a less high point. Anyway, some lessons are best learned the hard way. Alright. Let's get this... Let's get ourselves suited up here. And yeah, let's go ahead and clear off our death marker. Come on. Don't care. Okay. Put this back on. That's 1, 2. That's broken. That's good to know. Okay. So, let's build some armor. How do we do that? Well, we're going to go over here. We'll stay close to the ground this time. And the way that we build this armor is actually pretty easy once we have all the right parts. What you do is you lay out these filled sockets in the pattern of the item you want to build. So in this case, we see we're going to build a helmet. So we laid it out in the helmet pattern, we put the soul forge in the middle, and now what we're going to do is we can put sockets on these. So we put a blood shard in there, and then we can add a sigil to it. Probably need to shift right click it. Come on. Well, it should let me put that in. I'm not sure why it's not. Hold on. Okay, I remember now. So in order to put these sigils into my armor, what I need to do is first just pick any one of these sockets, these filled sockets, put a blood shard in one, and then we take the sigil and we go into another block and put it in there. So you'll see that we put the blood shard in here and we put the air sigil in there, and when we right click this block in the middle, we get a nice little effect, and there's our helmet. And if we look at it, we see that it has item 1 is an air sigil, and a weak blood shard. So that works well. And then, of course, remember that we need to right-click and bind it. So now I'm the current owner. And there's a helmet. So let's go and make the chest piece next. And the thing with these sigils is that while they're in my armor, they actually draw LP from my soul network continuously, unless I put a master blood orb in my armor, in which case it now completely removes that constant LP drain. So that's what we'll do with the second one. The third one here, we will make a pair of leggings, that, and the Phantom Bridge. Oops, that one. Yep, okay. Right-click it. There's the legs. And we see we've got the Phantom Bridge in there. And the last one we will make are the boots. And we will do... see? Phantom Bridge just works automatically. It's always on. And as you can see, it's kind of a nuisance that it's always on. Don't worry. We'll see what it takes to turn that off here shortly. Last thing I want to do is put that in. And the armor is complete. So the division sigil, the nice thing with that is if you look up on the side here, that keeps my soul network information constantly there. Ouch. Why are you hurting me? You should not be hurting me. You should not be hurting me. I'm getting damaged from something, and I'm not sure what. Come on. There we go. So that's in there doing its thing. So as you can see, it's going to be kind of a nuisance that this is always on. And I'll be honest, I've never really played with the Phantom Bridge enough. I think it's something that I may want to turn off. But on the plus side, I shouldn't have falling damage anymore. And this time for real. So I'm not a big fan of that Phantom Bridge being bound to my armor. So let's see what we can do to turn it off. Why is that? That seems strange that I'm taking damage constantly. Makes me think that I've got something wrong. Let me figure out what's going on. Okay, I figured out my problem. So I forgot to bind my boots to me, and so in order for them to work, they needed to basically damage me to power themselves. Not ideal, so I fixed it. The item that I want to make in order to turn off that flight is called the Armor Inhibitor. As it says, used to suppress a soul's unnatural abilities. Okay, pretty straightforward. Just takes a blood shard surrounded by some gold. And what this will do, when I click it, you'll see the center kind of turn on. This will prevent things from happening. Oops. I need to keep my mana tablet in my inventory. Because without it, my sash does not work. There we go. And if I turn this guy off, I soon see that my Phantom Bridge comes back and does what it's supposed to do. If I turn it off, Phantom Bridge stops. The trick here to remember, though, is that with it off, I believe my fall damage is going to be negated as well. So if I were to fall... Oh, come on. Ouch. Yeah, see, I've got fall damage. Or do I? Let's go up a ways. Let's turn it off. And... oh, yeah. So all I need to do, then, is to remember as I'm falling. So I turn this off. I turned it back on before I hit the ground. And thus, fall damage was abated. Cool. So that'll work for now. If I really get to the point where I feel like that's just kind of a nuisance, which I might actually be getting close to, I can basically take the armor apart by using the Ritual of Unbinding, and I was going to make that here and show it, but I need to make some more reinforced slate to do that. But in the meantime, what can I do with this armor? So this armor, as you can see, it's pretty powerful. It has full diamond status. If we look in the book, it gives us some ideas as to how powerful it actually is. So we go to the chapter about bound armor, and we read through it here. We see that it will... we add the blood shards, we add the orb, we can add sigils to it to do various things. It talks about all of that. It talks about being able to absorb or deflect 90% of mundane damage, so the regular day-to-day damage. It also blocks roughly 80% of magical damage. The only things that aren't blocked on this are withering. I think there's one other one that I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know withering is the big thing, that it will not block withering. So, of course, pay attention to that. But what I want to do right now is I want to find a vial. And I need a soul vial. Here we go. And that's just going to be some solarium, which is soul sand and gold. Unless I already have some. I do. Cool. Let's make ourselves a soul vial. I need fused quartz, huh? Well. How am I doing? I am pretty short on quartz. Looks like I'm probably going to have to take a trip to the Nether and get myself some quartz here. Let me get this smelt up. It's going to take a second. And there we go. One soul vial. So as we can see, we read the mouse over on it. It says right click on a mob to capture its soul. Right click again to release it. Cool. I can capture things. So what are we going to capture? I want to find an Enderman. Let's go hunting. Okay, so here we are out here by our village, and I seem to have an Enderman somewhere nearby. There he is. I spotted him. Excellent. Let's go ahead and turn this off. And he has seen us. Got him. Perfect. Excellent. Ha ha ha. I can kill with reckless abandon now. It's going to be hard for things to kill me with my new armor. Should we see? There was a creeper over here, wasn't there? Somewhere? Nope, zombies. More zombies. You kind of get stuck in my platform here. I don't know. Anyway, I was going to show a zombie or a creeper blowing up next to me and not really doing much damage. Oh well. Let's head back to the base and make use of our newly captured Enderman. Okay, back at the base, and we are going to make ourselves another powered spawner. Which, if we remember the recipe, needs one of these, needs some of these, one of those. Let's see what we've got. I have a single zombie head. Well, that's good. If I want to make a Z-Logic processor or controller, silicon, solarium, redstone, and silicon. Alright, we'll take that over to our slice and splice over here. And do that. Perfect. We'll let that... Ooh. Did it do that before? Herobrine was here. Nice. Good old Herobrine. The other thing I'm going to want to do is take the spawner that I have. I have a broken spawner here. This one happens to be a blaze. Normally I wouldn't want to use that, but I do happen to know where there is another blaze spawner. So I'm going to go ahead and use that one. I'm also going to come down here and take, I should have about 30 levels worth of, there we go, right at 30 levels. It's like I did some preparation on this one. So I'm going to take the broken spawner, I'm going to mix it with a soul vial, right? No. There's a different mechanism I think I need. I need a different thing. I was wrong. I can't just mix it like that. That's how I put the broken spawner into the powered spawner. I need a different machine to make my broken spawner be what I want it to be. Let me find that one. And there it is. So that requires a soul binder, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's not terribly difficult to make, but I can tell you right now, I don't have the requisite heads to make this. So I need a zombie head, a skeleton head, a creeper head, and an enderman head. I need a lot of heads. So I think what I'm going to need to make in order to get all those heads is something. Let's see if we can do this a different way. Let's check out a auto spawner. That's not a bad idea. What's it take to make an auto spawner? That looks like something that I could actually make. So, yeah, let's make that instead. And in order to use that, that's Minefactory Reloaded. I haven't gotten into, but we could get started. But in order to use it, I need to make a safari net and capture the Enderman in a safari net, which I can do. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this built. So we need a machine frame. Shouldn't be too difficult, except I need a tin gear, which I can make with a stone gear and a wooden gear. Oh, I can make it that way too. That's what I was looking for. One machine frame. Done. Magma cream. I should be able to make some of that. That's just blaze powder and... How am I doing on blaze rods? I got a few here. Let's go ahead and pulverize some of these up. Sag mill. Right. What's the best way to get blaze powder? Shapelifts crafting, the macerator gives me 5, the pulverizer gives me 4, and the sag mill gives me 4. Sure. Let's just throw it through this guy. Oops. There we go. Magma cream. Just that easy. Do not apply to burns. It will hurt. Trust me on this one. The other thing, I need a redstone reception coil. And I need some emeralds. Oh, I need emeralds. And I need plastic. Oh, I forgot about plastic. I need rubber. I need rubber trees. Looks like I'm going to have to make a trip back to the island, or off the island. This is just not going the way I want it to. Okay. How's our sword doing? It's getting pretty beat up here. I still got some time. So, back to the mainland. Alright, so here's what I'm looking for. This here's a rubber tree, and I'm going to perform a bit of sacrilege. This is a industrial craft rubber tree, as you can see. And normally, what I would do is actually there's spots on these rubber trees where you can use what's called a tap to collect the rubber out of it, but instead I want to try and get a sapling and grow one back on my base. So you can always tell the rubber trees because they've got the two pieces of leaves all the way at the very top. So let's just go ahead and chop this guy down. Oh, I thought I saw a sapling there. I did. Awesome. I got a couple rubber trees. Okay. Back to the base to plant our rubber trees. Okay. Back at the base, and our rubber trees are planted and growing. And the trick with these is I don't actually want the leaves on them. So we're going to go ahead and knock the leaves off. We're going to look at what's grown. And this did not give me anything. So we're going to go ahead and cut that down. This one did give me one, looks like one spot to tap, which is right there. So let's go make a tap so that we can pull the rubber out of it. Now there's two different versions of this. There's the basic tree tap, and then there's an electric tree tap. For now, we're just going to go ahead and build a basic one, which is pretty straightforward. We come over to the spot here, and we make sure that we only click it once. If you notice, there is kind of an outline. Where to go? There is kind of an outline of the spot on the tree there. We could hit that again and get some more rubber out of it, but we run the risk of losing the spot entirely. So that's not something that I want to do. Just going to go here and Knock these off. And looks like we didn't get another tap spot. That's unfortunate. But we do have a bunch more saplings, so we'll work on that later. For now, we've got sticky resin. Cool. What can we do with sticky resin? Well, we can smelt it. So let's go over here and put this into furnace mode. Throw that in, and it should start cooking up. Meanwhile, I'm going to go clean up my inventory. Let's turn that off. Let's put some of these things away. Things I don't need. Arrows, actually, I want to throw away. I don't need those at all. And same with that garbage bow. Let's go check on our resin. Should be done cooking up. It is great. There's some rubber. Cool. So what can we do with rubber now? Well, let's look at what it takes to make plastic. We make plastic with raw plastic, which we get from rubber. So we take our rubber and we smelt it a second time, and that will give us raw plastic. And then, of course, as we saw, we take 4 raw plastic and we get plastic sheets out of that. So just like this, 3, nope, need 4. There it is. Just like this. Oops. Gives us raw plastic. Cool. Now we're going to make a spawner. There it is. We should be able to make it now. Perfect. And then we need a safari net, reusable. And I think that's going to use up most of my ender pearls. But that's okay. So we're going to put down our enderman here, and we're going to get our safari net ready. So there's our enderman, caught in a safari net. Perfect. That is going to be something now that we can put in the auto spawner and start to spawn endermen. But the auto spawner, if we look at it here, let's just put it down here for now. It does require essence and energy to do its work. What essence you might add? Well, it requires that essence, mob essence. How do we get it? We get it from a grinder or from a sewer. So we can take a sewer, as it says here, we can convert our experience into mob essence. But I don't want to waste my experience doing that. Instead, I'm going to need to build a grinder. Which is something like that. But unfortunately, it looks like I'm out of time for now. So, this is Walrig. Thanks for watching. Check out my cool new armor. So we got our blood armor built today. Pretty cool stuff, huh? Don't worry, we're gonna add some stuff and make this look really cool pretty soon. But that'll have to come later. Next time we are going to get our mob grinder going, I think. And we're going to auto spawn endermen. Till then, thanks for watching, and I will see you next episode. Bye-bye.